Fantastic. And this one, again, may not be a question. Let's see, it's my pleasure to have knowledge on how. Okay. Giovanni from the Philippines is excited about an airline career, it sounds like. That doesn't look like there's a real specific question. Any words for Giovanni?
Yeah, so Giovanni, it looks like, if I'm reading this correctly, that you have yet to start the career. So, number one, it's a good time. Number two, the next step is to find the right flight school and to find a mentor that will help you to weed out some of the bad turns that you can make in the industry and really try to help streamline your success. That's going to come from getting into a flight school that'll do your private pilot license, your instrument rating, then adding your commercial pilot's license, a multi-engine rating, and ultimately, if you decide to flight instruct, becoming a certified flight instructor. There are a number of schools out there in the world to do that for you.
Excellent. And then there's another one that's just kind of general information, and I'm not going to try to pronounce this first name. I would probably get it completely wrong, but someone from Nigeria. So we're really glad we've got that you've joined us. And any words for someone from Nigeria?
No, the same thing is, to me, aviation is a global brotherhood of pilots. So wherever you're from, the message is the same: is don't get discouraged, do whatever you can, whatever it takes. We've trained a number of pilots from Nigeria at Aerostar who have traveled all over the world to find flying jobs. And again, look to where the jobs are right now and go there.
Excellent. So we've had some questions that have come in during the webinar. And John, you want to?
So how about those folks that are devout religious persons? Do they and they respect the Sabbath? And how do they work with the airlines on that?
So in the domestic United States, to the best of my knowledge, and I'm not an expert on this, but there is no workaround with religious holidays. The airlines have to treat everybody equally, and therefore you have to be able to work holidays, nights, days, weekends. So that can be a real challenge. Based on that, it's going to narrow your search on airlines that might, or flying jobs that might fit your specific needs. But I can tell you the major airlines, they're pretty unsympathetic to special needs of individuals. They need their pilots and their flight attendants and really their entire workforce to be able to work round-the-clock schedules, because the airlines are open 7 days a week, 365.
Exactly. But thank you, Samuel, for the question. I know that you're probably not the only one with that.
Then another one is, how should a pilot go ahead having this only a CPL?
So, John, let me rephrase the question. So you're asking, if I've got a commercial pilot's license already, what should I do to take the next step?
I think that's the question.
So you've got a couple avenues. One, we've talked about finishing your CFI and becoming a flight instructor. The other avenue is to go out there and look around in the community for the aviation industry jobs that are less known and talked about, like pipeline patrol, highway traffic patrols, towing banners, towing gliders. And then there's the other one that I've brought up, which is kind of a new opportunity, and that is looking for career placement outside the United States. Now, to do the career placement outside the United States, you really need to have a jet type rating. So you need to find a type rating school like Aerostar, enroll, go get the type rating done, get the multi-engine time, and then start applying to jobs all over the Pacific Rim, in the Middle East, and Central and South America.
Fantastic. There's one, let's see, person in Turkey. We don't have regional jetliners, and very little options in terms of air taxi and charter jobs, most new pilots get their ATPL frozen license and go direct to an airline job flying a B738 or A320. Most of them after paying their own type rating or having the airline pay for it and deduct it from their wages for the first 5 years. And this is Effie, I believe, from Turkey.
Just a comment.
That's a very common model that a lot of American pilots don't understand. Is there isn't a large regional aviation opportunity outside of the United States and in Central Europe. So the average new hire onto an Airbus or a Boeing outside of Europe and North America is about 250 to 300 hours total time. They go through their type rating with a school like ours prior to employment. Then they get hired. They go through a whole new training program with the airline. They fly in the observer seat. They fly with a supervised instructor pilot for a number of segments, and then they're line pilots. That is the norm in the rest of the world, and that's what we've been trying to tell people, but it's so different from the way it works in the U.S. that it's hard for people to grasp.
Right. Great. Well, we just have about a minute left, so I want to let you know how to contact Captain Santo if you have other questions, and so on. And also, I think, this is actually a pretty good format. So, if you have friends or colleagues or anyone that you would like to invite to a similar webinar, you may want to let us know so that we can invite them to the next one. I think this is a good opportunity. As I said, you don't often get to corner an airline pilot and get to ask him any question you want to. So here's Captain Santos' contact information. And also wanted to let you know, of course, this webinar was sponsored by Aerostar, which does provide some fantastic training options and great mentorship opportunities for captains and first officers and aspiring captains and first officers.
And Paula, if we could, I'm just going to add on the phone number there, my direct extension is 112. If you don't reach me, it's because I'm out flying or I'm in the simulator or classroom. Be patient with me. I do want to hear from you. I do want to help you, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. But if you'll just add extension 112 to that, leave me a message. I'll get back to you. Certainly shoot me an email, and I'm here to help you.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your questions. That really made this an interesting webinar. I know I learned a lot, and Captain Dave, I think there were probably some questions you weren't anticipating, or is all this fairly common to you?
Well, I think they're all very common. I think a lot of young, and I'm saying young in the industry, not necessarily young by age, people have very common questions, and that's why I'm so excited to be able to help people to enjoy the career success that I've had. So I appreciate the questions. I don't think there's anything, there's no such thing as a dumb question when you're trying to pursue your career.
Right. Great. Well, join us next time, and thank you so much for taking some time out of your day today, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you, John.
Thanks.